Okay, so just to model all four methods, I'm going to use the unit circle for numbers 1 through 6. For 7 through 12, I'm going to use the triangles. For 13 to 18, I'm going to use the left hand. And for the last 6, I'm going to use the table. Okay? So for number 1, sine of 120, so 120 is right here. And I wrote the definitions here, so we have them on the same screen. So here's the angle, sine is y, so this is my answer, radical 3 over 2. For number 2, 2 pi over 3, same angle, so right here, 2 pi over 3, that would be negative 1/2, because it's x. 135 is right here. And definition of tangent is y over x, so it's going to be square root of 2 over 2 divided by negative square root of 2 over 2. So the square root 2 over 2 is going to cancel, and you're going to be left with negative 1. Sine of 3 pi over 4, that's this angle right here. And the sine is the y coordinate, so that's that one right there, so it's radical 2 over 2. Cosine of 150, that's right here, 150, so that's this angle right here. Cosine is the x coordinate, so the x coordinate at 150 is negative radical 3 over 2. And tangent 5 pi over 6, again same angle right here. And it's going to be, what is the tangent? So it's y over x, so it's this over this. So it's going to be negative 1 over radical 3 after the 2's cancel, and then you rationalize it. And so you get negative radical 3 over 3. So number 7 is 180 degree angle. So that one's right here, 180 degrees. Sine is the y coordinate. So the answer for that one would just be 0. Cosine of pi. Pi again is also 100 at 180 degrees. So pi is right here. Pi is right there. And cosine is the x coordinate. So that one's going to be negative 1. Tangent 210 is in quadrant 3, right? And so it's here in quadrant 3, and you have to ask yourself, what's the reference angle? What is the angle that it forms with the x-axis? So from 180 to 210, that's 30 degrees. And tangent is positive in quadrant 3 because it's negative over negative right here. They're both, x and y are both negative, so negative over negative is positive. So I'm going to look at the 30 degree angle, this one right here, because from 180 to 210 is 30 degrees. So that's my reference angle. So I'm going to look here, and my definition is y over x. So y over x. So it's 1 over radical 3. We rationalize it, and we get radical 3 over 3. Okay. For sine, again, it's 7 pi over 6. It's the same angle, 210, as number 9. So we're looking at this triangle. And for sine, the definition is y over r. So this is y, and this is r. So it's 1 over 2. Oh, I'm sorry, and then I forgot to consider the sine, right? So in 210, sine is negative. So negative 1/2. Okay. For number 11, 225, that's also in quadrant 3. So it's right here. The sine of cosine in quadrant 3 is negative. And 225 is a 45 degree reference angle because from 180 to 225 right here, this angle is 45. So I'm going to be using this triangle right here. And so it's going to be x over r, so square root of 2 over 2. And it's negative, remember. tangent of 5 pi over 4. So 5 pi over 4 and 225 are the same angle. So it's a 45-degree reference angle right here. Tangent is negative in quadrant 3 because it's negative over negative. And so I'm going to look at this triangle right here. So it's going to be square root of 2 over 2. I'm sorry, square root of 2 over square root of 2. So that's going to give you 1. Okay, so for 13, first thing we do is identify the quadrant. So 240 is in quadrant 3. And so the sign of sine in quadrant 3 is negative. So I know it's going to be a negative something. 240 degrees, well, from 180 to 240, that gives you 60. So the reference angle is 60. So going up to the drawing on the top, the finger that's going to be folded down is this one. So it's not there, it's folded down. And for sine, we count the bottom fingers, square root of the bottom fingers divided by 2. So the bottom fingers is 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be square root of 3 over 2. Now 4 pi over 3 for number 14. 4 pi over 3, that's the reference angle is pi over 3. In radians, it's easier to identify the reference angle because you just look at the denominator. Okay, so radical 3, so it's the same angle as number 13, so it's already filled in. And so for cosine, we take the top numbers, square root of the top numbers divided by the bottom, divided by 2. Now in quadrant 3, cosine is also negative, so it's going to be negative, and then there's only 1, so square root of 1 is 1, so 1 half. Okay, for 15, 270, well we don't even need this technique. We could just think of 270 being 0, negative 1, the ordered pair is 0, negative 1. So tangent is y over x, so negative 1 over 0, undefined. And sine is the y-coordinate, so it's negative 1. Excuse me. Because 3 pi over 2 is the same thing as 270, same angle. For number 17, 300 degrees, from 300, now 300 is in quadrant 4, right? And we want to know this angle right here. So it's going to be from 360, from 300 to 360. Okay, so for 19 to 24, we're using a table. So 315 for number 19. 315 is quadrant 4. So we know in quadrant 4 the signs are positive and negative. So that means that sine is going to be negative. So my answer is negative. And for 315, well, to get from 315 to 360, because we're here, this angle right here is 45 degrees. So I'm going to look at this column. And for sine, in this column, it'd be radical 2 over 2. 7 pi over 4 is the same angle as 315. So cosine is positive. And so again, I'm looking at the 45-degree angle for cosine, positive radical 2 over 2. 330, that's also in quadrant 4. And the reference angle is 30 degrees because from here to here, from 330 to 360, that's 30 degrees. So I'm going to be looking at this column right here. And my signs are positive, negative, because 330 and 315 are in the same quadrant, right? Quadrant 4. So tangent would be negative because a negative over a positive is negative. So I can put the sign in right now, negative. Now 30-degree column, that would be this one right here. So radical 3 over 3. Okay, so for number 22, 330 is the same as 11 pi over 6. I'm looking at sine, so it's 30-degree column for sine. Now sine is negative in quadrant 4. So it's going to be negative, right here, negative 1 half. Okay, and 360 is back at the beginning at 0, right? So I'm going to be using this column right here if you want to use that. Or just remember the ordered pair 1, 0 at 0 or 360, right? Cosine is x, tangent is y over x, so 0 over 1, 0.